Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Prestige Auctions. It's podcast episode 11 already. And of course, you are probably sat on your settee at home after eating lots of turkey, mince pies, Quality Street, opening some rather nice pairs of socks and Lynx gift sets and thinking, shall I watch the podcast rather than Home Alone or something like that? So it is the podcast. And of course, this is going out on this Friday night. And it's you've all just been enjoying Christmas. Hope you've all had a great Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And I hope you've enjoyed viewing today. If you came down to Prestige Auctions, and you'd have seen that the auction's not quite as big this week. We're trying to give you a bit of a break before we ramp it right back up next week to normal levels. We could have done this week, couldn't we? But
yeah, there's still capacity in there. So.
But we just decided, we'll wait till next week. And
just a quick 1,000 lots, I think.
Yeah, quick 1,000 lots. Get through that pretty quick. But let's have a look at the week that was. Well, last week's auction was the Christmas special. Did you enjoy the auction? I did.
Cracking day.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
What stood out to you? I know what stood out to you.
What?
Lisa's singing. Watch this.
£3 anywhere for a summer bird food. £3. Come on, feed the birds. Tuppence a bag. 3 and big. 4 anywhere. Feed the birds. Tuppence a bag. Tuppence a bag. 3 and big. 4.
Oh my God, it was terrible, wasn't it? Why did she suddenly just start singing and then got a round of applause?
I think everybody thought she was doing the prize draw, so they get on the good side.
I was just like, I'm like that in the background. Anyway, there you go. So, and of course, the great thing was a lot of the customers. I think it's become the tradition at Prestige that every Christmas when we do a draw and we give away prizes and stuff and have a bit of a laugh with everybody, that people wear the Christmas jumpers and get dressed up and that. And lots of people did this week.
Yeah. They all made the effort.
And you really get into the spirit of things. We had Santa Claus walking around the room and Lady Claus and Lisa dressed up as Lady Claus and all the rest of it. Who else was there? There was so much going on in the room.
There's a few Grinches.
There's a few Grinches kicking around. Anyway, we'll show you a few of the pictures of the people that came into the auction right now. They did dress up well, I thought.
Yeah.
It was quite good, that people go to make that effort and get involved sort of with the community feel of Prestige. And
the room was busy.
It was,
yeah, plenty
but
of
the
people.
prices were quite high.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be a buying week.
On smalls.
Yeah.
Furniture was like definitely this week, but I thought it might be. But then, was the furniture any good?
Yeah.
There
was some high quality bits in this week. The oak furniture was amazing.
Yeah, but when I went to look at that house, I remember saying to the lady, it was in Humberston, that house. I remember saying to the lady, it's nice, it's solid wood, and it's got a chance, that's why I'll take it in. If it had been any other colour, I wouldn't have taken it, because it was a wall unit,
Yeah.
and they're very hard to sell. And people, I think sadly, when you go around so many people's properties as I do, it's always quite tricky to find the balance of how to let somebody down that something's not worth much when it was
a treasured item,
treasured possession that maybe mum and dad paid a lot of money for, and it's hard. It's not my fault that stuff's not worth something.
Well, we see stuff just around the corner here, and you £800-900 items. Well, they're kind of making their way here eventually, and they're selling for 50 to 60 quid, aren't they?
Yeah. Again, another reason why you should shop at auctions, because auctions are the way to save yourself money. And we constantly go on about how you should use an auction to make money. Well, why not just use an auction to save money by planning?
Yeah.
And that's it. I noticed, I think you this last week, did you buy some of them boxes of screws?
Yeah, I bought quite a bit of DIY stuff. There's loads of boxes of screws.
I mean, what's a box of screws these days at B&Q? 10, 15 quid,
Yeah,
20 quid?
Between £7 and £10.
And you've got a case there like that, full of them, for what? 7 quid, 8 quid?
It weren't that much.
Well, you see. I mean,
they're selling out the antique centres. These antique vintage screws.
Do you know, I was at Hemswell the other day, and I was talking to the people on the counter at Hemswell, actually, and we all kind of agreed that the days of the antique centres are probably, I won't say they're done, they're getting harder, and people are now sort of seeing them more as sales centres of somewhere where they can get a bargain.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking a boot sale bargain, but somewhere they can go other than walking into the local second-hand shop on the high street. To be fair, I don't mean this down to any second-hand dealers, but there are some people that would see that they're above that. Do you know what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
I think there's a certain amount of snobbery within people that go, I'm not going in a second-hand shop.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because most modern second-hand shops are quite modern places. They're not just stuff stacked up to the ceiling like they used to.
But you wouldn't go to a second-hand shop in a tweed jacket and a silly hat and go for a day out, would you?
No.
You save that for the antique centres.
You do. You have that all the time. I had somebody at Hemswell the other day. A typical, what I would call a typical buyer of one of those places. I walked in and held the door for her as she came in, and as she walked past, didn't even acknowledge me. I wanted to let it go on her face, I tell you.
Oh, I hate stuff like that.
It really pees me off. And I've just stood there. I didn't need to stand there and hold the door open for you, but I did because I thought it was the gentlemanly thing to do. Nothing, just walked straight past me.
I'm here just for you.
But again, she was the stereotypical buyer at an antiques place.
Does she have riding boots on, like halfway up her leg?
No, but she'd done her hair and everything. Well as you can do, grey, curly hair.
Didn't dye it?
No blue rinse. I've noticed one or two older people these days are starting to get quite adventurous with the colours, aren't they?
Yeah.
Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
I've got this thing, right, that you ever been to an old folks home?
Well, I live in one.
If you've ever been to an old folks home, right? I used to go and sit when I was a kid.
She's going to kill me. Do you know I'm already in doghouse this week?
What you done?
I gave her a Christmas cat. This is brilliant because this will come out after the surprise. I could reveal the surprise that she's got for Christmas Day because it'll not come out till afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I got this card for Christmas and it says Bar Humbug on it, and you know the card. So she's opened the card up. She's got the arse for me. Been like Mardy for 2 days. So I'm still in the doghouse now, but when this comes out on Friday, I'll be in the good books.
Well, what you done?
Because I've booked us an holiday in Tenerife for Christmas.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
For Christmas?
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry.
As a Christmas present.
I was going to say, you won't be able, you'd have to travel.
I'll let you know now, I'll not be in February for a day or two.
Oh, okay. You're going to Tenerife?
Tenerife, yeah.
Tenerife, very nice. You and the good lady?
No.
So you and Kim.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear me.
It won't cost me much to get Jay McDonald's name took off the ticket.
No. Yeah, are you heard from Jane this week?
Been a bit quiet.
Nothing
I
again.
think she's probably got a lot on.
What?
There'll be panto and stuff, won't it?
Oh yeah, I suppose
She'll be a bit busy.
she's
It's probably
sort of-
why she's not.
she's kind of at that point in her career that she would do pantomime now, isn't she?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Where I think, years ago when she was like, and she still does a lot of telly, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Still does a lot
Always
of
on
cruise.
telly.
I do like Jane McDonald. I think she's. But when we did a cruise last year, and what's his face? His son was on it. That's magic. What's his name?
Daniels.
What's the son called? Obviously, we all know Paul Daniels, but the son had a bit of a career, didn't he?
I've never heard of him.
Well, he's doing his. I mean, he's obviously doing really, really well because he's doing his second year on the bounce at Grimsby Auditorium.
See, I know Jack Daniels. It's not him. It's not him, is it?
It's not Jack. No, it's Martin. Martin Daniels. That's the one. And he was on our cruise as well. He got flown in and did or whatever, and did a couple of nights. And and then next thing, I mean, 1 minute you're in the Caribbean, next minute you're in Grimsby.
It's come up in the world a bit.
I know, bless him. But anyway, where was we? So this is where we was at with Christmas. Was talk. I can't remember what was talking.
What we bought.
Yeah. What did you buy at the auction that was any good this last week?
I've just sold it. Part of the challenge.
Oh. Well, let's talk challenge then. Let's talk the challenge. Where's everybody with this challenge? Why are you not listening? Nobody is coming to us and saying, I've taken part in the challenge now. Everyone was enthusiastic at the start and then nothing.
Well, this Christmas break, I'm going to make a little leaderboard or a points board.
Yeah.
Or a pound board, whatever.
Okay.
So, we bought well again this week. We were up to 120.
Yeah.
In the kitty. I bought 3 postcard albums, a box of EPNS, and a 4-wheel shitter which I've sold. 40 quid. With £3 to 40 quid.
Oh, God. Is that a commode chair by any chance?
Yeah, but that's how I described it on eBay.
A move around one.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you know what? It makes you not want to get old, doesn't it?
Can you imagine moving while you're doing the movement?
Well, I think when you get older, you just want to start winding people up a bit, don't you? So, doing things like that. But so you bought those bits. I know you bought some. I bought a mobility walker that's got a wonky handle.
Yeah, no, I'm going to mend that. I've got that in my car now, ready to mend.
And
I'm the mobility don.
Oh, you are the mobility don. So. I'm trying to get back on task with the Christmas auction. Everyone, it was so busy in the room. The coffee shop was busy, and there was some good items for sale. I thought last week, and I bought a few bits. I can't for the life of me remember what I bought now. But I certainly bought some in because I took it to Emswell.
What did you buy for the challenge this week?
Well, I didn't actually buy anything for the challenge this week because we haven't got any money. Well, we've got £1 and 12p, and I was considering buying something off myself for £1 and 12p.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, I tell you what I could do. Because I bought some stuff for Vinted this week. I could look at how much I paid for the Vinted items. I could divide that by whatever the percentage of 1.12 is in £3.54, which is about 30%, something like that. And I could take 30% of that lot purchased for £1 and 12p. That'd be in the rules.
There aren't any rules, are there? You all know there's no rules.
So and then I could sort of try and sell those items, but I must admit I bought some stuff on Vinted. I bought some stuff at the auction with Vinted the other week, and I've struggled with some of it, to be fair. apart from the trainers doing well.
Yeah.
Trainers doing well, but then that was like a £900 outlay. But this is what we're talking about, everyone. When you
These
get
are good
to,
Christmas purchases, aren't they?
when you get to better levels in buying and selling, which obviously me and Chris have been doing it a long time, so we're at better levels for our normal day-to-day buying. When you can buy items like that and afford to take mediocre profits on each item but sell them quickly, that's good business, isn't it? It's good business. And I actually sat and watched the podcast the other night, and you got some deer's ears, didn't you, or something?
So I ended up with some moose's head.
Moose head. He messaged me halfway through the podcast. Moose head.
Was that supposed to be a reindeer?
I've no idea what it was, really, to be fair. It was a bit of fun when I sat editing. As I say, I'm trying to learn more stuff, and it's just
So-
really, it's just been really, really good fun doing the podcast this year and messing about with stuff like that. And we've got so much more planned for after Christmas. I mean, this is going to be sort of the last fully talky one, I think, because after this we're going to be doing all sorts.
Yeah, we're
going to really ramp.
got to
it
get
up this
out and
next
about,
year.
get some auction footage.
And we have got one or two people booked to come on next year, so we'll talk about that in the new year. One or two people. George might be putting in an appearance today.
Yes.
George is a young lad. We'll try and get a young person's perspective on working at Prestige Auctions, and we'll go and sort that out. I don't ever leave you in the room on your own because you drink things and that.
There's nothing. Oh, I've spied something.
Yeah, leave that alone. So before we do that, though, and we've spoke about last week's auction, let's just talk about this week's subject. So this week's subject has been put into us by one of our customers at Prestige, who is thinking of going into the buying and selling side online. She's done a bit of buying and selling in the room and started selling it online, but through social media channels, etc. Now she's thinking of getting involved a little bit more in the buying and selling side on sort of eBay and Vinted.
Yeah.
But the question she's asked is, can you talk a bit more and give us some advice on postage and packaging services? So, of course, we all know nobody likes postage and packaging. It takes ages. It's boring. But there are ways to make it easier, aren't there? And we all know that you've got some pretty good ways. So what do you think? So if you've just sold 10 items on eBay, ranging from buttons to a large tool, how are you sending it?
I send everything on every.
You do everything on every now.
Every single little thing.
What about you? So what about your vintage stuff then?
Well, that's the only choice that they've got. That's the only option. The
So
only postage option I have available is the every.
Do you do that? No. So do you do that because you're A, happy with every, or B, the every drop-off place is close to you?
It's both. I mean, it's now 1,100 and odd parcels sent this year through every. 2 have gone missing. 2 have been compensated for, so I've not lost out through them. Parcel shop drop-off is a couple hundred yards from the house, so it's convenience. And their performance is, in the old days,
better.
Yeah, I mean, I never had much problem when it was Hermes. I can't say they were any worse than anybody else. But recently, the items have been getting there within 2 days. I've got, touch wood, nobody's messaged me and said that they've got a problem. So the performance has been brilliant, and I like to support the local shop as well.
Where do you get so when it comes to packing items, where do you get your packaging items from?
Nick half the stuff from here.
Okay.
So if you,
well, I mean that's do you know what? As tongue in cheek as that sounds, it's actually quite good, because when you consider that nearly everything that comes into the auction room from clearances is packed.
Yeah.
All that packaging ends up getting disposed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it makes very good sense to grab the bubble wrap, cardboard boxes, etc.
It's all recycled now, which you can actually put that in your description.
Yeah.
So if you're doing your listing for eBay, put it in there that you use recycled packaging. That seems to be a bit of a buzzword now. People like.
Yeah, I think it is quite good. I mean, I obviously we spend quite a lot of money per year for the business on packaging, postage and packaging, because we don't just do, of course, our own buying and selling, but we do the online auctions for the auction room, which is one coming up this next Thursday, actually, that you can go to easyliveauction.com and check out. But we do full pack and sends on those auctions, and the packaging that we buy for those has got to be a little bit better. Here's a thing, right? So I mean, I know you like Hermes, and I've Hermes every, and I've no problem with that. But here's one that gets me, right. I think Royal Mail. I have never seen a business want to press the self-destruct button as much as them.
I ain't used them for years because of that reason.
I do not understand how a company with what is without doubt the biggest network. They had the biggest network for years and years, the monopoly for years and years and years, has suddenly outpriced themselves so much that everyone is going everywhere else.
They could have had the monopoly.
Of course they could.
They could have. Nobody else would have had a chance if they'd have played it right. They did. They just tried to rip us off.
I mean, £1.65 now for a first class stamp.
Yeah.
£1.65.
I can send a kilogram for £2.40.
Yeah. And this is my point. I mean, we do still use Royal Mail, granted, for certain things, but it's getting to the point. Well, here's the point I was going to make. So, if you go to use what's it called, Parcel Force, which I don't think actually is part of Royal Mail anymore, is it?
No, I think it used to be, didn't it?
But so if you want to use Parcel Force, you go into a post office counter and use Parcel Force. It's going to cost you, don't quote me on this, somewhere around 16 quid for a standard parcel to be sent.
Right.
Go home, go on to parcelstogo.com.
Yeah.
Send up to a 30 kilo package or 25 kilo package with Parcel Force from the same post office, 9 quid.
Yeah.
The same service, it goes on the same van, delivered by the same people, £7 difference.
Yeah.
Ish.
I've been stood in the queue.
Don't quote me on the figures. And they will pick it up from you.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that to yourself as a business? I mean, all right, I get what they're doing. They're dropping contracts for volume out to third-party businesses, and then selling that on to the customers. So the Parcel to Go and companies such as Parcel Monkey, Parcel Hero, there's lots of them out there, will actually be making money per parcel. But if they can do that in volume to third-party businesses, why the hell aren't they doing it for themselves? And then everyone would just use them.
I've been stood in the queue and I've seen little old biddies spending 15, 16 quid on tiny little parcels because they've gone to the desk, they've weighed them, and that's what they've had to pay for it there and then.
Well, and you know what? The other thing as well, I mean, this annoyed me the other day, and I will talk about a specific shop, the Spa in Humberston, right? You know where I live.
Yeah.
The queue was round the corner for the post office. One person on the counter. Okay, fair enough. But the front of the shop has got a post office counter as well.
Mm-hmm.
In other shops that I go in that offer postal services that have got a post office, when they get busy at the post office counter, one of the members of staff from the shop opens the other counter and helps take the queue down. So if you're just buying stamps or whatever, they don't offer all the services there, but they'll say to people, if you just want stamps or you're just posting a letter or whatever, come to this counter. It takes half the people out of the queue. So I spoke to a person in there, and not on the post office, on the Spa side, and said, why don't you just open that other counter? He went, oh, well, it's an out of hours counter. I went, well, why in other shops then? The other shops open it up. He said, oh, because if we open that one, it messes up with their computers. What a load of crap. What an absolute lie that was. But you're watching people walk out the door and go, don't want to use this shop. And you would think the management at the Spa would go, we're losing customers here, because I am the stereotypical person that will go to the post office as I'm walking out the shop, think, well, do you know what? I need this, that, and the other. So I'll grab them while I'm there.
Yeah.
So one bit of business becomes two.
Yeah.
When you walk in there with a parcel and see that the queue is 2 mile long and there's only one person on the counter, you walk straight out the door.
Turn
So
around.
you lose both bits of business.
Yeah. We see it all the time when you stood there. People coming through those doors and immediately see the queue, turn around and off they go.
I just don't understand it. But I think what is good these days as well is the amount of shops that are now going to either become parcel collection for like Every and Yodel, because all the Morrisons do the Yodel collections.
Yeah.
I've sent some stuff with Yodel and Every this morning. I went to Middlefort Road shops. One of the shops, one side is Every, the other side is Yodel. So, and just they make it so simple because they do this digital post now. So if you sell something on Vinted, you literally, the person at the other end pays for the postage.
Yeah.
You just click on your phone, digital label, then you pack the item. So like from what I saw was a pair of trainers, put them into a bag, took them to there, scan the thing, they put the label on, off it goes.
You don't even need a label printer.
Oh, so easy.
I find the whole Vinted process easy because the customer buys the postage. You don't even get involved in that. You just select the options that you want to use for your own convenience. I mean, you use parcel lockers, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I've never used those.
Brilliant. It's always a bit worrying though. It was initially when you go to an Impost locker and all you've got is a QR code and you scan the machine on your phone and it says, yeah, there you go. Have you got a label on? No, right, okay. The door opens, put your parcel and you walk away. No label on it or nothing.
What happens if it's full?
What?
If there's no
then
space?
It just says no space available.
Do you have to go to the next one?
Yeah, and so if you are thinking of doing this, particularly in Grimsby, you've got a very big Impost locker at Tesco's, Hewitt Circus, and you've got another very big one at Buzz Bingo as well, which is usually space in the Buzz Bingo one. Tesco can get busy because it's a busy shop, but I've noticed them popping up all over the place now. At the garage on Albion Street here in Grimsby, you've now got Impost, Amazon, and DPD lockers.
Right.
So there's more and more of these things popping up, and I think it's when it comes to postage and packaging, they're a very. I think with postage and packaging, you have to be savvy. Don't just think post office is my only option. In fact, I would always say look at the post office as your last option, because I just find them so expensive now. And I say we do use them, but we use them for very specific things. Every's very good. I think Yodel. I know Yodel have had their problems on the news, haven't there? It's come up.
Yeah, the site keeps crashing on through the. If you use Packlink through eBay, the Yodel doesn't work.
Right.
It's good for Every and Parcel Force, but the Yodel one keeps crashing. So they've obviously got a few issues at the minute.
Yeah, I think it's Yodel. I know Yodel have had some problems as a business because it's been on the news about it, and I think they've been rescued or whatever. Well, it'd be a shame to see them go because I think they're not offering such a bad service at the moment.
UPS used to be good, and I used to send anything that was properly expensive through UPS, as it was always one of the more expensive, better kind of class of service. The guy had always come out like in a proper UPS suit and put the label on, and it had got its own little cubby inside the van. It seemed like they took more care, but they've been like everybody else. Those have been hit and miss.
Well, do you know, I had a present delivered for Lisa the other day, and this really annoyed me. And this was DHL. Will be delivered before end of play. Before the end of the day, I think the words were. Well, most courier businesses these days will say, we will be with you between 11 and 1.
Yeah.
Not, it'll be delivered before the end of the day.
That's 11:59.
I'm just like, so this day and age, you're expecting me to sit there the entire day and waste a whole day not knowing what time you're coming, when if you could just give me a rough estimate within a 2-hour window, which I'm sure you can, because everything's tracked on the vans, they know roughly where they're going to be at what time. Why can't you just do that? Normally do. I think is it DPD? DPD are very, very good at that.
Have they got the mobile tracker?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can actually see where the van is and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But DHL the other day, nothing like that, which really surprised me with DHL. Because DHL are massive, aren't they?
Yeah.
And worldwide. And is it just because it's at Christmas they're not doing it? I mean, lots of horror stories. What I would say, everybody that is thinking of getting involved with postage and packaging and buying and selling, is do this. Use tracked services, because it's become a very commonplace, especially on eBay these days. Everyone's been caught foul of it. I didn't receive it. As soon as they see it's not been tracked, I didn't receive it. And then under eBay's rules, they literally just put a hold on your money and give them the money back.
The other thing is, which we mentioned before, get a set of digital weighing scales.
Yeah.
Take a picture of your item with the digital label, or at least address to the person.
Yeah. Take
a picture of it on the scales, because you'll get a charge back at some point, and they try that on. In fact, I have heard from I'll not name the company because we could get in trouble for that, but I've heard that there's a conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt weighs the parcels, and you'll get a charge for an overweight parcel as it's scanned, even if it's under, but if the conveyor belt adds up to more than the weight. Right. So there might be 3 parcels on the conveyor belt, and you'll cop a charge for it.
Well, it's just happened with us this week. We've been selling these newspapers, and they go out in a small parcel envelope, yeah, that thick, but that size. Must have sent out 300 of these.
Yeah.
This week, suddenly, customer gets in touch. Well, I've refused the parcel at the door because there's a £3.30 charge because it's oversized. No, it's not. So somebody's glanced at that and thinks it's oversized, and it's not. It's half a centimetre within the size limit.
Mm.
And now, so we've lost the sale. We've had to pay for Royal Mail returned it this time, actually. So we've lost the postage, the sale, and the potential of getting a bad mark on eBay because somebody at Royal Mail didn't do their job properly.
Yeah. And the man was sorting it out.
Yeah. And the other thing is as well, I think this can probably be said the same across the board. Trying to get refunds and the claims process through all of them is not easy, is it?
No, it takes time, and it's designed to put you off before you start.
Yeah. But persevere with it, because the thing is, if these companies are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then, although what I will say is Parcel Force, to me, have been one of the better ones for getting things there.
I think Parcel to Go, I think their claim site is easier to use than most.
Yeah.
You can upload, because you have to upload the sale, picture of the item. I think you have to do 2 or 3 photo uploads. But I found it quite easy to do on Parcel to Go.
Yeah. So basically, everyone, our advice there is, if you are going to start doing buying and selling online, and you're going to be looking at doing the postage and packaging, shop around first and foremost. Make sure that the items that you are looking to send, you use the right company for them. But further ahead of that, Chris makes a couple of good points here. One, about taking a picture of weight. That's a very good point. And also making sure that when you send those items, before you even list them items for sale, that you've checked your postage and packaging to make sure that you're right, because we've all been caught foul of this one. Oh, well, yeah, I'll charge a £5. And then you come to send it and it costs you 15 quid to send it. And all of a sudden your profit's gone out the item and all the rest of it. Absolutely make sure that you know where your parcel sizes are. Look at your sizing guides in all of the different companies that are out there. Royal Mail do a small parcel, medium parcel, large parcel, and then you sort of go on to your Parcel Force services after that. When it comes to they pretty much do everything now, don't they?
Yeah.
Pretty much most sizes.
Yeah, 15 kilogram. They do a light and large, which goes beyond that. But to be honest, up to 15 kilogram covers most things that you're buying and selling.
You're not going to send much more about that. And of course, one more just to consider. I'm trying to think of the name of it now.
Also, look for what you're sending, because some things are not covered.
No, I mean, well, that's one of the things. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. You can't insure pottery in the post.
No, glass, pottery. They've started to extend what they're not going to cover. It's all in the little small terms and conditions, but
Yeah,
they have, that list has got bigger.
yeah,
The other
yeah.
thing I always do as well is the item that I'm sending, I always put a mark on it, a signature,
Yeah.
or 3 little scratches or something to identify it. Because the old trick of sending you something back,
Yeah, that
so
they've broke
yeah,
themselves. Yeah.
yeah, put your own little identifying mark on it, so you know if you get a return, it's your item.
But with pottery, I used to use a UV pen.
Yeah,
Used to put a dot on the bottom of it.
yeah,
Something that was definitely not noticeable, didn't damage the item, but if something came back to me, I would always insist, if it's broken, send it back to me.
yeah.
Get the UV pen out. But sadly, that doesn't help with eBay anymore.
No, because you're still going to cop the
eBay
return.
is still going to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, they'll find in a buyer's favour every time.
yeah, they always do. I'm just trying to think of the courier company that I've used once or twice. I've forgotten the name of them now. Basically, I'll think of it in a second. But basically, if you've got an item, say something like this coffee table that you needed to send somewhere,
Shipley,
that's the one.
yeah,
You sign up for Shipley, and basically they have cross-ship couriers working across the UK that don't work for Shipley. They're just an internet company, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just an online company. But they all these cross-ship couriers will sign up to them. And when you put something up on the listings there, right, I need to move this table, you have to put the sizes in, weight, and all the rest of it. And basically they come on then and bid for the job.
Yeah.
So they might have a van going from Glasgow right down to Southampton, but stopping at Hull, Grimsby, and they will look at what space they've got on their vehicles and think, well, is it worth me stopping there and picking that up? I actually sent, some years ago, a Nathan teak cabinet from Humberston to Southampton for £8 because this guy said I had a pickup just around the corner. He said, and this thing was just the right size to fill up my last bit of space.
Yeah.
It was another £8 AM.
Yeah.
And he maybe had 700 quid of stuff on his van, but that last little space that he probably wasn't going to fill. And believe it me, they want to fill them gaps because the risk becomes less when a van's full.
Yeah.
Because nothing can move around so much.
I put that on a lot of my listings, that I provide a flat level loading area for Shipley couriers to collect, and try and encourage people to organise it themselves.
As what you will find, especially, I mean, you may be watching this podcast or listening to this podcast anywhere in the country or even the world, which would be interesting with you guys, to actually let us know if you are in other parts of the country, in other parts of the world, some of the problems you come up against. We'd love to hear about those, wouldn't we? And find out what, especially in other countries, that would be interesting because, when you look at other countries, some other countries have some great ideas. They have some rough ideas as well, but they have ideas that sometimes we could listen to. And I think it's the problem with Grimsby and Cleethorpes, where we are. You may have this in your country, but as this is the UK, yeah, and you've got like a big motorway that kind of runs down the middle, but anything off, unless it's Liverpool and Manchester, where there's great motorway network straight into them, you come off to Grimsby, you've really got to come off the beaten track. Even though you've got the M180 motorway going onto the A180, it adds another hour basically onto everyone's trip, doesn't it? Yeah. So an hour there, hour back, and so on. So consider that as well, because that's when Shipley can come in handy. Or just don't forget Parcel Force as well. You can send up to 30 kilos with Parcel Force. And 30 kilos is a lot of weight.
The other one that's been good, it's been a while since I've used them. Was it Pallet Line?
I've used them.
Yeah. You can do like a half pallet for about 45 quid.
Yeah.
Night freight.
Night freight, pallet ways.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. A great example of that. Some years ago, we cleared a linen place in Tetney, where there was some really nice Millet industrial dryers. I'm sure there was Millet industrials, and they was worth a few quid. But I thought, how would I get them sold? So anyway, we bought them for like 40 quid each in the auction, I put them straight onto eBay at £250 each and sold them both the same night, and offered pallet delivery.
Yeah.
And because we found, I don't know where the option is on eBay, so I've not done it for a long time, but you used to be able to click oversized,
Yeah.
and then it would give you an option to put a higher postage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we put the pallet price in, and you know what? Straight on a half pallet, wrapped it in pallet wrap, sent it off, got there 2 days later.
Yeah.
And the person was over the moon, nice working item. The great thing with that as well, of course, they come along, they lift it up on some wheels, move it onto a trailer, a tail lift, straight in. So it's never been rocked around, moved, knocked, dropped.
It's quite a safe delivery, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's not a lot these days you can't send. Anyway, listen, we don't want to make this one too long.
I've got one last final tip for that.
Go on.
True story. Be careful what recycled packaging you used, because I sent some stuff and it was full of Daily Star old newspapers, and this bloke messaged me, said it was a fantastic item, but he was surprised to see this big pair of Noaks looking up at him when he opened the box. You got to be careful what you use.
Yeah, I don't think you get that anymore in the papers, do you?
No, I've had a look, it's not there.
I've had a look. I thought of some just in case. Listen, everybody, we was going to bring George in today, but I think we're going to save that for the new year now.
We should get everybody on in the new year.
Yeah, I think one by one we're gonna speak to everybody, and of course you will have seen a bonus podcast as well that would have gone out on Christmas Eve, which was from me and Lisa. So I hope you enjoyed that one. If you hadn't, I'll drop a link in at the end of this one so you can have a quick look at that. Listen, everybody, I hope you're enjoying your holidays and that you have had a great Christmas. I hope you've been to viewing today and that you're coming to the auction tomorrow. And it just leaves me to say, have a great new year. And we will see you back on the podcast the Friday after New Year. And enjoy what's left of the holidays. Any message for them all, Chris?
And have a good day.
Have a good day. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
And we'll see you all very soon at the auction.